Okay, people, we are back. We are back. UK Drill Plug is the page, and Views Tube, yeah, is the name of the channel. Make sure you guys are liking, subbing, sharing, doing all the good YouTube stuff. And yeah, man, we got another UK city, this time Bristol, 24s or 2s against 16 side. Yeah. So without too much further ado,
get me, but hey, bam! You know I don't do this waffling thing.
you know what I mean? So let's get it, man. Let's get it. You can see it's there already. Just gonna enlarge it a little bit. Let's do it.
Of Bristol is located in the southwest of England, and as of 2019, the population of Bristol was around 467,000 residents residing within the city, although the population has most likely increased since this census. In both 2014 as well as 2017, the city of Bristol was named as the best city in Britain in which to live. Bristol even went on to win the European Green Capital Award in 2015, this award being eligible to all cities across Europe that have more than 100,000.
All cities across Europe, more than 100,000 inhabitants. European Green Capital. The award is to open EU member states, EU candidate countries, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Switzerland. Right, okay. My good friend Shane, I mentioned him before. It was just like, raw, like certain places he was like, I didn't think it was like that there. And there's not too many places that are not. At one point, Bristol was probably one of those places, but it don't sound like that anymore. Let's continue.
Residents. And whilst it looked as if Bristol was the ideal place to live, what a lot of people are unaware of is the rise in gang rivalries within the area, thus resulting in stabbings, shootings, and murders occurring in some of Bristol's most populated postcodes. One of these gang feuds is the rivalry between a gang based around the BS16 postcode and the BS2 postcode, more notably known as 1-6 versus 2-4s. Before I discuss the incidents that resulted in this becoming Bristol's most dangerous rivalry, I need to highlight the main gangs involved in this gang war and how they have come to rival with one another. Before this video begins, I have created a Patreon for all uncensored content. The video you are currently watching has been edited to fit with YouTube's guidelines. This includes the censorship of CCTV and other content. If you would like to see uncut sections of my videos, however, feel free to head over to my Patreon where you can see the raw versions of my video.
Yeah, we're just going to leave that bit in as well. Do you know what I mean? Because we're obviously over here using his content so that we can peruse these gangs and learn together. Big up to the UK Drill Plug. You know what we're doing already. I'm just trying to get my cigarette and that ready. Yeah, but big him up. Join the Patreon, especially if you want to see the uncensored videos. Mad.
For just £1.50 a month, equating to $1. Now, 2-4s or 2s are a street gang based around the St. Paul's and St. Jude areas within Bristol, more specifically the postcode BS2. Before the 2-4s gang was around the 1990s, a large street crew was more prominent within the St. Paul's area, this gang being known as the Aggie Crew. It's rumored that this Aggie Crew dominated the drug market within Bristol at one point.
I'm going to say throughout most of the 90s, Aggie, you know, who uses that anymore? But I'm old enough to remember it, you know, like that. The Aggie Crew. That's a mad name. Do you know what I'm saying? From Bristol. And I swear he just said from southwest. So it's like, is that near Bath? Barth? Bristol, is it like, you know? I like accents. I'm not very good at them, but I do like them. Let's continue.
Supposedly making around £1 million before police would swoop in and arrest the prominent members. Following these arrests, Jamaican yardie gangs became a lot more prominent within the areas, these including the Hype Crew amongst others, with it being rumored that these
Hype Crew, Aggie Gang, you know, that is all types of early 90s mid 90s selection right there. Sorry.
Gangs had a rivalry with the Aggie Crew, although these gangs aren't really around anymore. And in the 2000s, young gang members from the St. Paul's and Easton areas began to rival one another under the Bloods and Crips. The St. Paul's area became home to the Bristol.
Always, like I said, man, it's either old school names or very unoriginal ones. Do you know what I'm saying? That's another recurring theme, especially with the blue and the red, or what's the other ones? Black and green. That usually gets used. It's just like everywhere. Madness.
Blood Gang, whilst Easton was home to the High Street Crew, this gang identifying with the color blue, although it's believed that these gangs have died down just like the Aggie Crew. And as of most recently, the most prominent gang based around the St. Paul's area is that of 2-4s, or known more simply as Twos, whilst the younger generation of the Easton Crips became known as Five Side, continuing to rival 2-4s, although nowadays the main beef is between 2-4s and 1-6 from BS16. Prominent members of 2-4s include Jibsy, Eeks, and YJ, with this 2-4s gang
ain't heard of none of them. YJ or Y or I don't know. It's always the same sort of thing with that as well. What we got? C Biz, Q Biz. Just yeah.
previously having a dangerous rivalry with the Five Side Gang, although nowadays the beef is between 2-4s and the crew known as 1-6. The gang that rivals 2-4s is known as 1-6 or 16 Side. This 1-6 gang is located around the fish ponds and hillfields areas of Bristol, BS16. The 1-6 gang identifies under the color green. It's important to note that both 1-6 and 5 Side have had a long-standing rivalry with 2-4s, although it's rumored that 1-6 and 5 Side aren't directly allied. You may remember that I said 5 Side have been in a long-standing rivalry with 2-4s. Well, 1-6 also had beef with 2-4s. This beef then leading to one of the deadliest modern-day gang feuds that has taken place in the city of Bristol. Prominent members of the 1-6s include RC or Loki, TK, and JM. Now, you may
TK, Loki, JM. Yeah, JM's one of those ones. There's probably a lot of different like 2 or 3 letter names. JM, PS. I don't know. It just seems, do you know what I'm saying? It just don't really seem too original. Loki's very close to Lowski. Not very original either. It's mad, isn't it?
be confused as to how groups of teenagers from estates only streets away from one another have come to have such a deadly and bloody rivalry.
I'm sorry to just stop it again. Another recurring theme, people. I've been saying that often. It's not very surprising to hear how groups of people that live very close to each other end up beefing. Do you know what I mean? Mad.
With each other, resulting in stabbings, shootings, and murders taking place within the city of Bristol. Now, it's not exactly known what took place that eventually led to the beef between the 1-6 and 2-4 gang. What is known is that both groups used to be chill with each other, even supposedly being affiliated at one point, with it even being rumored that some prominent members of 2-4s used to rep the 1-6 gang before the beef started. Although following an altercation, the gang split, thus forcing members to pick sides and begin to beef their old friends. Now, it's believed that stabbings and brawls broke out between members following this, with rappers beginning to release songs, example being the 1-6 crew, who released a Who's Hard freestyle in September 2018. Under a month following this, however, the beef got deadly when a member of 1-6 was stabbed to death. On the 9th of October 2018, 21-year-old Ronald Lee, or R1, would be standing
Again, 21. Do you know what I'm saying? That's another recurring theme, how young these people are. How many young people we're losing to knife and gun crime and just going OT, just all types of stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, where's the oldest? He's supposed to be at 21. I'm not saying he's an older, but, you know, to the young G's, 14, 15, 16, he is an older. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm not saying you do the ride, so no one should be doing the ride. But if anyone is going to be doing it, it definitely shouldn't be 15-year-olds. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know enough about new age gang. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we're here to learn. You know, some people have said to me it might be initiation, things like that. But I'm like, man, at 15 or even younger than that, they shouldn't really be doing nothing but trying to, move those numbers. That's about it.
on Gill Avenue within fish ponds, BS16, when a man approached him, stabbing him once, with the assailant then fleeing seconds later. R1 was rushed to hospital, but sadly died 3 days later on the 12th.
And this is what I'm talking about. Sorry, I know I'm doing it heavy now, but when the things come, they have to be spoken about. 21, one stabbing. Where did he get stabbed? Dead. Yeah, we've been watching these, seeing people get stabbed 20 times, however many times, don't die. You know, the person who stabbed him once, unless you're literally giving him a neck shot or something like that, lightning, it's like, was your heart really in what you were doing? Do you know what I mean? Like that's the point I'm trying to get at. But at the same time, it's a lottery. 1 stab, dead. 20 stabs, still here.
12th of October 2018. Shortly after the attack on R1, a 48-year-old man was seriously assaulted, even being left in critical condition. The attack left the 48-year-old with brain damage.
Right. Sorry, I know. 48-year-old is probably the oldest person I've heard on any of these videos, unless I'm mistaken. You know what I mean? I know there's some people out there that, you know, pretty OCD. So let me know in the comments, but I think he might be the oldest man. The attack left him brain damaged with multiple fractures and he remains in hospital. That's deep.
As well as multiple fractures. It's believed this attack was carried out by R1's friends, who had thought that the 48-year-old was responsible for his death. This 48-year-old was a known drug user, even appearing in an article from 2012 which read, "Oxford drug user hid heroin in ceiling light fitting." Although this 48-year-old was never convicted for the murder. Rest in peace, R1. Only a few months...
See what I'm saying? Sorry, I know. They thought that the 48-year-old was involved in the murder. What do you mean you thought? Did you have any evidence? Do you know what I'm saying? You know, like, what did you have to go on?
Following this murder, in March 2019, 2-4's members Gypsy and R5 would release a track titled Pressure. This track did well and amassed a good amount of attention, currently sitting on around 187,000 views. The 2-4's crew then followed this release up with the track titled Who's Hard in May 2019, before then dropping Riding in September 2020. This song currently sitting on over 80,000 views. 2-4 were not the only gang making noise in the Bristol drill scene. Their rivals, 1-6, would also be making noise. They released the track titled 16 in February 2019, this being followed by a track titled Hunting in March 2019. And whilst it looked as if these rappers could maybe...
Sorry. 16, J Kid, TK, 16.
By a track titled Hunting in March...
TK, J Kid, and CM. I weren't one of them called... Wasn't it something M we heard before? It might have even been the same person. I'm just trying to point out the fact that it's not too original.
2019. And whilst it looked as if these rappers could maybe make it out of the streets, the gang war in Bristol was continuing and was only going to get more heated following the death of a 2-4's member in December 2019. On the 14th of December 2019, 2 members of the 2-4's gang would be in a flat, these being Blacks and another 14-year-old unknown boy. Both would be play fighting and got into an argument over an iPhone charger. It's believed that the teen retrieved a knife and told Blacks to come here, in which Blacks ran toward his teen friend, getting stabbed in the process. Blacks sadly died moments later, with the teen responsible being arrested at his family home.
Are you telling me, man? Are you telling me man's gone to meet whatever maker there is out there over an iPhone charger? Am I missing something there? That is wild. Drawed for the Rambo, and then he done what? Run towards him rather than try and run out the house or run out the room or lock himself in the bathroom until man can calm himself down. You ran towards him. You're now in a box. My man's now a murderer for an iPhone charger. Are we all right? Jeez Louise, let's continue.
In the hours after, a murder trial took place, in which the teenager claimed self-defense, eventually being acquitted of the murder in May 2020, after the jury unanimously agreed he didn't mean to cause any harm to Blacks. Either way, rest in peace, Blacks. The death of Blacks was an incident that repeatedly got mocked by...
I wonder how they come to that conclusion. I won't stop it for long, but yeah, penny for anyone's thoughts. How did they come to that conclusion?
Young 1-6 members when they released music. A prime example of this being 16-year-old YM, who rapped about the murder.
CMYM. Prime example.
In an unreleased song in which he rapped the lyrics.
Oh dear, oh lord, got bored and he fell to the floor. Got packed for an iPhone cord.
What did I say? Is Bristol near Barth? Oh dear, oh lord, got bored for iPhone cord. The accent is sick. Oh my god, sorry. After VAR, that one. Sorry guys, sorry.
Oh dear, oh lord, Got bored and he fell to the floor. Got packed for an iPhone cord, you can cop one of them for less than a score. Man, you must feel sore, could've got a charger in a Poundland store.
As I'm sure you can tell, this was a direct
Lounge store. Like that. The accent's not. I big up my Bristol gang. Though. Don't think I'm like taking the piss. I love accents in it. It just sounds hella mad. That accent on anything.
diss, as it's believed Blacks was stabbed over an iPhone charger. Rest in peace, Blacks. Only a few months following the alleged accidental stabbing that killed Blacks, a new rapper began to make noise in the underground Bristol drill scene, this being 19-year-old TK or Stretch, who released the track titled AOSD in March 2020, this amassing around 100,000 views in the months after its release. TK then dropped his second track Caliweed in November 2020, also getting around 100,000 views, and whilst it looked as if TK could make it out of Bristol and onto bigger stage, he would sadly be killed in 2022 in an unrelated incident, although I'll speak about that incident later. Sadly, however, even though a spotlight was being shone on the young rappers from these areas in Bristol, what many fans were unaware of was the fact that the deadly gang war in Bristol was going to heaten up in 2021 and 2022, following the death of an alleged 1-6 member that then led.
Just talking on what I was saying at the beginning of the video when I'm saying my bros saying, oh, I didn't think it would be this area, that area, and it's getting very hard to deny for me that the music is playing its part, unfortunately.
To supposed get-back attacks, thus resulting in multiple more people being killed, shot, and stabbed in Bristol. On the 14th of October 2021, 18-year-old Dante Davis, or Carms, who was associated with the 1-6 gang, would be walking home from a music studio in Lawrence Hill with two other friends. Whilst the trio were en route home, a rival 2-4's gang member known as Kayron Sawyers would ride up on a bike and notice the trio. A heated exchange then ensued, in which you can see the members getting into a verbal altercation on CCTV. Kayron Sawyers then told Carms to, quote, come round the corner. Carms and his two friends then making their way out of view of any CCTV. It's believed that Carms made the first attack toward
making their way out of view. So what you reckon, they knew the CCTV was there? Mad. Come around the corner. I mean, not everyone, I mean, some people say that, but are they all the way serious, or would they have just done what they were doing, sort of thing?
Kayron Sawyers, who then followed up with multiple fatal blows, in which Carms was stabbed multiple times, sadly dying on the scene. Kayron Sawyers then
he went. Was it him that got stabbed? Oh, sorry.
It's believed that Carms made the first attack toward Kayron Sawyers, who then followed up with multiple fatal blows, in which Carms was stabbed multiple times, sadly dying on the scene. Kayron Sawyers then fled the scene, even being seen riding around on a bike only minutes after the murder had occurred, although he was later arrested. Kayron Sawyers claimed that he acted in self-defense. However, the jury disagreed and charged.
When they see you riding up on the bike, self-defense. Do you know what I'm saying? You're the one who rode up to them. Mad.
Charged Kayron Sawyers with manslaughter. In the end, he was handed a 9-year sentence for the murder. During the trial, evidence showed that Kayron Sawyers was actually featured in a 2-4's music video only months before the murder had occurred. Within this music video, members were seen burning green bandanas, this being a sign of disrespect toward the 1-6 gang. Rest in peace, Carms. Shortly after this murder in 2022, TK or Stretch would be continuing to make serious noise in the music scene, releasing the track titled Gaza in January 2022, before then dropping his Hotspot freestyle under a month later, even going on to feature on a HB freestyle in March 2022, although this was released in July 2022. Unfortunately, however, TK wouldn't see the success that his HB freestyle would gain, as sadly just weeks later, he was sadly stabbed to death. On the 29th of August 2022, 21-year-old TK or Stretch or Takayo Nembhard would be celebrating at Notting Hill Carnival, this being a Caribbean carnival that is
in London. He's come up from Bristol. We're going to the carnival. You know what I'm saying? But this is why I don't really do carnival here, because like I ain't from Bristol or any other place in the UK. I'm from London, and like most years when I've gone, I would always see someone or something that is a bit mad. People go there and get robbed, bored for no reason. You know what I mean? Yeah, people go there and dagger and do all the rest of it, but then there's a good chance you're gonna get daggered as well. because it's just a joke. Everyone's outside.
Annually held in the area of Notting Hill, Kensington, within West London. Sadly, during the celebration, however, TK was stabbed by someone whilst he was in a large crowd. TK was rushed to hospital, but unfortunately was pronounced dead a few hours following the attack. A murder investigation was launched following the murder. This investigation saw the arrests of around 5 people, although these 5 people have since been released, leaving the murder of 21-year-old TK or Stretch unsolved, with Crime Stoppers even going on to offer up £20,000 in 2023 to anyone with information, although this is not...
Was that random? Did they know him? Do you know what I'm saying? Carnival's one of those places, thousands of people come, millions or what, I don't even know how many attend it over the 2 days, but do you know what I'm saying? From all over the place, like, so there's a very good chance you're going to see someone, but that sounded very random though. It did.
Managed to turn up anyone. Rest in peace, TK. Only hours following TK's death, his producer released a heartfelt tribute on his Instagram account, which read, 2 years ago, a young 19-year-old man came from Bristol to meet me at my studio with his dad. His name was Takayo Nembhard, aka TK, or Stretch. That meeting took us on a journey. We recorded some great music together. His talent was endless, and I can tell you guys he was close to greatness. So it's with a heavy heart that I bring the news that Takayo passed away last night. TK...
Like I always say, we don't wish this on anyone. We're not trying to promote it. However, we can't act like, I don't know. I mean, there is cases of innocent people just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but a lot of these guys, it's not completely innocent. Do you know what I mean? So
it was a massive loss to the 1-6 crew, who went on to mourn him after his death, with new rappers beginning to make noise in the Bristol drill scene, example being RC, or Loki, and YM, who released a Load-In freestyle in July 2022, before going on to release another track with YM, although this song featured JM and was titled Plug Talk, both of these songs amassing tens of thousands of views. YM even went on...
YM, LM, CM, just M's.
On to do his own solo Plug Talk, which was seriously cold, and turned a lot of people's heads as he was flowing differently on this song. At the beginning of 2023, RC or Loki, YM and JM dropped another track together, this being titled All Right. If anything, it looked as if these three could become an official trio, as every song they had released gained positive feedback. 1-6 were not the only gang making noise in the Bristol drill scene, however, with 2-4s or 2s also somewhat frequently releasing tracks. These included The Real Truth and multiple loading freestyles. If anything though, it really looked as if RC or Loki, JM, and YM could make it out of the streets as a trio. Sadly, however, the trio would lose one of their main rappers.
Sorry. I swear it's even like that for some of the songs, isn't it? Loading, No Hook. Do you know, like, how many no hooks is there probably?
This being YM, who was stabbed to death in June 2023.
Look at this little boy. Stabbed to death. Is that why their parents, you know what I'm saying, have their kids? Look at him. Just a big man doing big people things, maybe, but I mean, even at a glance, if you was to just, you wouldn't even know if it's a boy or a girl.
On the 10th of June 2023, 16-year-old Mikey Roynan, known as YM, would be traveling on a bus to a girl's 16th.
That one was a bit different. Obviously, they weren't the Nashers in the last one. Yeah. Mad though, 16. Sorry.
23. 16-year-old Mikey Roynan, known as YM, would be traveling on a bus to a girl's 16th birthday party in Bath. On a separate bus, a group of teenagers would also be traveling to the party. However, it is believed that this group of teens were armed with knives. Upon arriving at the party, YM and others began to have fun at the house party. Although only a few hours after the party had begun, the armed teens that were on the bus hours earlier got into an argument with 16-year-old YM, with one of the teens retrieving a knife and stabbing YM in the neck. People at the party began...
Right. Sorry to stop it again. Remember, I was just saying the one before got a one stab, we don't know where, and died. I'm saying, all right, cool. Now the only, like, if you're really gonna stab someone, like, to try and kill them, and you're doing it once and trying to leg it, it needs to be like a neck shot or something that's, do you know what I mean? Top of the chest, or I don't know, but it's mad.
To phone 999 in an attempt at saving YM's life, with the defendants fleeing shortly after the stabbing. Although only days later, Shane Cunningham, 6...
Sorry, guy, that didn't look like fleeing to me. It's like a leisurely stroll. Look at the state of this kid. Fucking hell, man.
13, Leo Knight, 16, and Cartel Bushnell, 16, were charged with the murder, with
These look like young boys.
Shane Cunningham going on to stay silent during his interview, whilst interrogators tried their best to find out the truth.
Tell me about what led you to stab Mikey Rowling in the neck.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I swear this guy, like the way his legs look all long, he's probably taller than I am right now. But still, pickney them, pickney, yeah? Nothing but pickney there.
Was it you that stabbed him in the neck? Or was it somebody else that stabbed him in the neck? What was your intention when you did that?
I'm sorry. Is this a Mikel Arteta press conference? Obviously, this kid's doing, yeah, just no comment the whole way. What did you intend to do when you stabbed him in the neck? I don't know. Check his pulse? Huh? Give him a hickey? Like, what type of question is that?
Was your intention to make him die?
What is all this over? It's a house party, lots of people are there. Is there anything you can tell us now?
House party? I can't even do it right there. Sorry.
About what happened? And why you acted this way? And the knife that was used to stab Mike, was that in your possession the whole time?
In the end, however, Shane Cunningham was found guilty and jailed for life.
No. I'm sorry, guys. I know. First and foremost, look how young these boys look. 16. None of them looks 16. Like, none of them. Secondly, my Donny in the middle. Oh, none of this is jokes. None of this is something to promote. I know I'm going to hell, but not because I'm a horrible person or I've tried to get anyone down or any of that. It's because this is meant to be serious. And then you're showing me people with haircuts like this. What is going on? One type of barcode. Fucking bro. I've seen my girl, she's got like these kind of like scrunchy fit, like it kind of stretches out, and yeah, what is this? You see the other two Donnies have got fringe, and then you're like, oh, like, mum, can you take me to McDonald's and get me a fringe? Like, what is going on? And not just that, what is going on for the wrong turn mohawk? Like, whatever's going on at the back. I can't see the back properly, but it looks like it's coming down. It's all, yeah. Darkness, pitch black. What is, bruv? Looking like some elongated barcode going across his foot. This is so dark. I'm sorry. I'm just longing this out, but it blows my mind sometimes.
Life with a minimum of 16 years, whilst both Leo Knight and Cartel Bushnell were found guilty of manslaughter.
There's a bush at the back of his head, it looks like, bro. Jeez, Bush Cartel, you know.
Being given 9 years for the murder. Rest in peace, YM, or Mikey Roynan. Just under a month following this fatal stabbing, an associate of the rival 2-4s gang was stabbed to death, with this supposedly being an alleged retaliatory attack. On the 21st of July, 2023, 19-year-old Eddie, or EK, would be walking on Grosvenor Road in the St. Paul's area of Bristol, BS2. He was attacked shortly before 11 p.m. He sustained multiple stab wounds and sadly died on the scene only moments later. Upon hearing of his death, police launched a murder investigation. However, despite multiple arrests, no one has been charged for the murder of EK, with this murder going unsolved.
Was he even part of things? No one. I mean, some people do slip through the net, but not very often.
Rest in peace, Eddie, or EK. Whilst it is not known what happened between the 1-6 gang and 2-4s gang following this murder, what is known is that in February 2024, a member of 2-4s was allegedly stabbed multiple times by a 1-6 member, resulting in the 2-4s member being rushed to hospital. No other incidents have really occurred within the streets, but I hope that all of the members involved in this rivalry can focus on music instead of the gang life, as realistically this gang life only ever leads to jail or death and never anything positive. These people may appear to be your friends now, but when you're riding decades for these people, they will move on in their life and forget about you. So realistically, the road life is never worth it. If you enjoyed this video, however, make sure to like and subscribe as it supports the channel.
Yeah, it's never worth it. Let's be honest. It's never worth it. Either doing Big Bird or you're in the ground. There's not really too much in between, let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? So another one down, people. Other than the 48-year-old, whole heap of young people as usual. This is what they're doing with their time. I used to ride bikes, skateboard, go Trocadero. Used to do, I don't know, parties, gal, sometimes fight. But all of this, let me know what you thought in the comments, people. Of course, we're going to keep the gangland stuff coming. I'm going to do some individual videos on some artists if I come across it. I think I've come across one from Cinch, actually. So that will probably come up next. But until next time, people, peace.